Hey everybody, this video here is going to be on what I'm going to show on the rear end, what I did on the rear end of the A-kart. But I wanted to take a moment here to show you guys this email that I got from somebody who had ordered plans for the T-kart, the Batmobile looking go-kart. And he had ordered 4 of the plans, and I sent the plans out to him, but the email that I sent them to were a military email because he's with the Air Force, and he emailed me back, and this is what he said. He says, "Tully, having problems with the attachments. This Army email system won't let me open them. If you could please send the attachments to my AOL account." And he gives me that. It's on my PayPal. We're out in Afghanistan hoping to build this to improve morale, and we will definitely be sending you pictures, because that's one of the things that I request when I send out the plans, is that for people to send me pictures on their builds. I then emailed him back, or I sent the email to him, asked him what kind of motor do you plan on using, that sort of thing. And he says this, he says, "We're going to use a John Deere Gator engine, and we will be painting it a flat black with our unit's logo on the side. It'll be the 173rd Airborne Sky Soldiers. Should be pretty sweet. Thanks, Sean." So that's pretty cool. These guys are going to be building one of these in Afghanistan, so that's kind of cool. I also want to be in one of my other videos on the other channel, the Tully 712 channel. I stated that I was going to, one of my next builds was going to be a motorcycle that would be designed and driven for nighttime. It will be fully electric. Well, the more I started looking into the electric idea, the more I realized that I would only have a drive time of only about, whether I have 4 to 6 hours, or if I have 4 batteries or 6 batteries, I'm looking at a drive time of about anywhere between 2 to 3 hours. And that is not what I wanted. That's not, I like to be able to be out for hours and hours and hours. So one of the things that I had done is I had ordered for some plans from a guy off of eBay. And he has these plans to build a mini bike, a mini chopper. It's a 1966 or 1960s version, like the classics. And in his plans that I got here, this is all this stuff is hand drawn. Everything is, he did this by himself, and apparently he's been involved in the industry for a while, building these things. These plans are pretty good. And they're all hand drawn. He's got plans in here for a mini bike and a mini chopper, an extended frame where it's longer, the forks and that sort of thing. He's also got plans in this thing for a tube bender, which is kind of neat too, and that came along with it. But the thing that really got me was in towards the back. He has this chart. It's a gear ratio for 12-inch tires. And this is what kind of got me to decide to do this type of setup with the A-kart. The tires that I have on it now on the rear end are 10-inch, but I do plan on eventually upgrading to 12-inch, because once I got these, I realized that this gear ratio is pretty neat. He's got a gear ratio of how many tooths should be on the clutch in relation to the sprocket. He's got certain gear ratios, how fast you should be able to go. He's got 2 motors here that are specified. There's one that's a 3.5 horsepower, and then there's another one that's a 5 horsepower. And he gives you the miles an hour, how fast it should be able to go with a certain gear ratio. He's got a few explanations onto the side here. Like one of them one of them here says, well, it's got 2 different sections, kind of on both sections. You've got the 3 horsepower with or without a governor, and then you've got a 5 horsepower with or without a governor. And it's it's pretty neat because I haven't seen any charts like this around. I'm sure they're out there, but I haven't really been looking too into it. But this is these plans are pretty neat. This guy he did a really good job on these plans, and he goes by on eBay. He's eBay seller. He goes by the name of the Plan Man. Okay, it's THE -- not underscore. It's the Plan Man, and that's his eBay seller name. So if any of you are out there are interested in building a mini bike or a little chopper, this guy's got this stuff's pretty neat. You know, he real simple. It's not a. It's kind of a neat idea. They're really neat. So I'm still debating on doing a. But if I were to do it, I'd do the classic mini bike. That's probably what I would build. Most likely someday I'll be doing one of these tube benders because that's kind of a neat idea too. A little 5-ton tube bender. Yeah, but yeah, I thought I'd throw this out to anybody who's interested in building a mini bike or a mini chopper, because these things are pretty neat. These plans are pretty neat, and I really like that chart in the back. That's kind of cool. Because not only can I use this chart for a mini bike, but I can also use it as a chart for the A-kart. But I'm going to show you here how I set the rear end up and the bracket, the motor mount that I used, and how I did this. Okay, how I have this set up is the whole motor, like you've seen in some of the pictures, the whole motor rotates. And what I did here was my gear ratio that I have set up on this thing is on my clutch. I have an 11 tooth. I have that running to a 21 tooth on the jack shaft. This is the jack shaft. Then it runs over to a 14, and then it runs off to a 54. This type of setup, I think it came out to be a ratio of a 5.77 to 1. Now with this little 2.5 horsepower, this thing does not have very good takeoff with that type of ratio. But it does got some speed, almost too much speed, as you've seen in some of those other videos that I got of my little girl driving around. So what I did first is, I don't know how well this camera can pick it up from that position, but I'll be moving it. I built a bracket that goes up around the motor. I built the plate that the motor bolts to. I took the plate, bolted the plate to the motor, put the motor down on top of the mount here, and then just welded that up underneath. Then I took just a simple little bar, 1/1 1/4 inch thick piece of flat stock, and just a little piece of angle iron, and stuck that on the rear end here, and used one bolt to bolt the whole thing together. And now this one bolt right here keeps it from moving. So I'll take that out and show you how this works.